Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. The fit for this video is Bizarro. Let's take a look at a video.
This is over 2,000 years old. It's the book of Isaiah from the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it's one of the reasons that I believe that the Bible is reliable. Your Bible can be trusted, and here's why.
All right, let's see it.
So years ago, scholars took the Leningrad Codex and the Great Isaiah Scroll, and they took Isaiah chapter 53. It's the chapter that has many prophecies concerning who Jesus was.
That's not what's in Isaiah 53.
Were they the same? What did they find? The texts were over 99% identical. Well, what about that 1%? It was four letters from scribal mistakes that were different. So you've got 2,000 years of copying here from the Great Isaiah Scroll that predates Christ to your Bible today, and they haven't changed. This is just one reason why we can trust that the Bible is reliable.
So this is entirely false, and I'm going to illustrate this in two different ways. The first way is with this volume here, the Biblical Qumran Scrolls, which is a critical edition of all the scrolls from Qumran that witness to the Protestant biblical canon. And it has transcriptions of the text and a critical apparatus that shares variant readings. So here is the beginning of Isaiah chapter 53. The red box at the top has the text, and then below that is what's called the critical apparatus. You'll see the verse number, and then to the right you'll see a Hebrew text, and that is the word that is in the manuscript, here 1Q Isaiah A, the Great Isaiah Scroll. And then to the right of the Hebrew, you'll have lists of manuscripts and then a closed bracket. All of the manuscripts listed to the left of the closed bracket agree with the reading that is found in the Great Isaiah Scroll. All of the manuscripts that are on the right of the closed bracket are variant readings. And so every time you see that little Gothic M on the right of the closed bracket, that means the Masoretic text, the Leningrad Codex, differs from the Great Isaiah Scroll. As you can see here in the three verses that appear on this first page of this transcription, there are 5 differences, one in every single verse of Isaiah 53. Here is the next page of the transcription with the critical apparatus. As you can see, many more variants. In fact, of the 12 verses of Isaiah 53, there is only one verse, verse 6, that does not have a variant reading. And then here is the third page of the transcription with the critical apparatus with 3 differences from the Masoretic text on that page. Now, here's another way I'm going to illustrate the differences. Here is the text of Isaiah 53. I've copied this from the Masoretic text, the Leningrad Codex, and I've gone through and I've marked every letter that is different between the Leningrad Codex and 1Q Isaiah A, the Great Isaiah Scroll. And I've used 2 different colors. If the letter is in red, that means it is a variant reading, that there is a letter there in the Masoretic text, but the Isaiah Scroll has something different. If there's a strike through with the letter, and that might be a little hard to see, but there are 5 of them. If there are strike-throughs, that means that letter from the Masoretic text does not appear in the Great Isaiah Scroll. If it's blue, that means that is a letter that appears in the Great Isaiah Scroll that does not appear in the Masoretic text. And that is mostly going to be about plain A spelling. In other words, they are using consonants in place of vowels. So it's mainly to indicate what kind of vowels are there, but not every time. So looking at this whole page, there are 743 characters, total letters on this page. There are 5 deletions, meaning the Great Isaiah Scroll does not have 5 letters that are in the Masoretic text. There are 8 variant letters, meaning there is a letter there in the Masoretic text and it is a different letter in the Great Isaiah Scroll. There are 74 added characters, meaning there are 74 characters that are in the Great Isaiah Scroll that are not in the Masoretic text, and there's 1 entire added word. 4th line from the bottom, 2nd word from the right, you see or, light. And from the anguish of his soul he will see light. That is a reading that is in 1Q Isaiah A that is not in the Masoretic text. This is 167 total words. There are 71 words that have differences of some kind in them. Now, again, The majority of these are questions of spelling or pronunciation and don't change meaning. I would say probably 85 to 90% of these differences do not change meaning, but there are meaning changes. There are significant meaning changes. Some of them are the conjugation of the verb. Sometimes it changes from third person to first person or something like that. Sometimes the particle changes. Sometimes the pronominal suffix changes. There are a lot of differences in here, but the notion that there are just 4 letters that are different and they are scribal errors is simply a falsehood. That is not true. Now, to conclude, this is a remarkably well-preserved text over the amount of time that it has been transmitted. However, there are several centuries between the original composition of this text and our earliest manuscript witness to it, and we don't know what has changed between its original composition and that first manuscript witness, and it could be a lot. In fact, the overwhelming academic consensus is that the original version of Isaiah's original prophecies didn't even have this verse, that this verse was not added until centuries after Isaiah wrote, following the exile. So there's a lot going on here, and while this has been remarkably well preserved, it has not been supernaturally well preserved. This is a product of human endeavor and industry, and while it is an indescribably important and incredibly well preserved artifact, it is not evidence of anything supernatural.